Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, also known as the Inventor Lady. Happy Friday, everybody, and I hope you have a great weekend. It's supposed to be pretty nice around here. Thank you so much for being patient as we've worked through our technical difficulties and YouTube changing protocols this last week. I do appreciate it. We had some really important topics that we discussed, and I will be putting out some written versions of that discussion. Thank you all for your feedback. I do appreciate it. I've had a lot of notes back on Facebook and LinkedIn that you are enjoying the information that we are dispensing. So I do appreciate it, believe me. So the topic for today is time. That is the one thing you cannot make more of it, and you don't get a redo. Time is just time, and it ticks away on us. So you need to be aware as an inventor of how time is kind of fighting against you. So this is the first thing that I deal with on Inventors. Is like, well, I had this idea a couple of years ago and somebody stole it from me. No, probably not. I didn't know you had an idea. Everybody has ideas. They're like belly buttons. And somebody just is trying to solve the same problem you see. You need to assume that if you notice a problem and you're trying to come up with a way to fix it, somebody else has got the same problem and is trying to come up with a way to fix it. So first to file, they get the credit, whoever is first to file. And it is not unusual that somebody tells me, it's like, well, I found out that somebody filed a provisional application 5 days before I did. That's life. That's just the way it goes. So keep in mind, time in the inventing arena is not your friend. So there's time on the first side of the issue, which is I have an idea and trying to get teed up. And then there's time on the back side of the issue, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. On the front side, when you're doing your own searching, and I always tell people, yes, get out there, look around, be straight with yourself. What would someone else call this to find it on a Google search? Is there another industry it could be used in? The best thing that you can be here is tough on yourself. And then you get an independent search done. If you need a resource, you reach out and let me know. I am happy to share information with you. So when you're getting teed up, and I get some people say, oh, I've spent weeks searching. That is weeks somebody else can beat you to the punch. All right. Yes, a few hours you want to spend searching around. You want to understand what the USPTO patent database looks like. But when somebody tells me they spent weeks searching, it's frustrating. All right, so now you build your own version of a prototype. Duct tape and cardboard. I've seen some really good ones out of Legos, Play-Doh, whatever you've got sitting around that you can get it out of your head and into something that's three-dimensional. Then your next step would be to, work with a design engineer. And keep in mind, the clock is ticking here. So when we're looking at keeping an inventor on track, look at a target date. Look at the next professional trade show that fits your industry. If it's a national hardware show and you're going with us, yay. If it is a smaller show that's more specific, I've been to the National Asphalt Show. There is a professional show for everything. This is going to help keep you on track, and it's really important to stay on track. I mean, life gets in the way for all of us. It does. Sick kids, issues on the job, getting a new job, moving to a new location. Get back on track as soon as you can. If you've got to pick a new target date for a new trade show, by all means. All right. So the thing is that as you push out your time, all right, it allows somebody else to get in the door and file first. We are a first to file country. It doesn't matter how long you've been working on it. It really doesn't. USPTO doesn't care. It's first to file. That's the marker. And the rest of the world is the same way. First to file. So you want to make sure you understand there's other people out there looking to solve the problem. First to file. I get a lot of people like, oh, don't worry about filing a patent to just be first to market. First to market's important, but it depends on what you plan on doing. You do not need a patent to go to market. You need a patent to negotiate. So if you want to be able to sell your intellectual property, you don't sell an idea, or you sell the intellectual property. What the government has said, you own this for 20 years. 20 years, there's a clock ticking there. So you want to be able to tee it up for sale, or you want to be able to tell somebody else, you can't do that, it's mine. All right. You start with a patent. If you want to license it, so somebody else is going to make it, sell it, and send you a check. They always ask, did you file a patent? You cannot license an idea. All right, you're licensing your intellectual property. If you give someone the right to make it and all it is an idea, whatever contract you signed with them, you might as well burn it for fire starter. So that's kind of the timing issue on the front side. The clock is ticking. Clock is ticking from the day you file the patent. It's ticking when you say, I have an idea. All right, so on the back side, what are you looking at time? It takes, I mean, I've seen people get, in 6 to 9 months get teed up for a show. But at that point, you're serious, you're paying attention. The clock is ticking. Average is probably about 18 months. When you take longer than that, now you're just running the risk of somebody else getting to market first. All right. So when you're looking at, that time frame now, okay, from the time you get to that first trade show so that you're able to start taking orders, you're going through manufacturing. Now you're looking at an additional 18 to 2 years. All right. So you could easily be from I have an idea to making money 4 years. All right. So again, time is not your friend here. When I get somebody, when I tell them it's going to be a 2-year setup from the time we sign a licensing deal, they get really frustrated. It's like, if you were the startup, it would still take you 2 years and probably longer. Now, the more you've done to tee it up for a licensee, yes, the faster they can turn it around sometimes in 6 months if you actually had inventory. So as that time pushes out, it depends on what they've got to do. When we go in the door and they've got to do all of the engineering work, and then the manufacturing, that engineering work, it does take time. All right, time, it takes time. So it is not unusual that it could be 2 years. And I know that we were talking to a licensee a couple of weeks ago, and the inventor was just really frustrated with the time issue. And it's like, it really doesn't matter whether it's a licensee doing it or you doing it. If you're starting basically from scratch, it takes time. It really does. So pay attention to time. All right, time is not your friend when it comes to the inventing world, either on the front side or on the back side. So you need to understand when you're saying, well, I'm going to spend, this much time getting teed up, it can come back and bite you. Pay attention to your time. All right. My name is Rita Crompton. We're going to be doing another live video tomorrow morning just because we kind of got pushed out there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the USPTO tomorrow. Does the right hand really know what the left hand is doing? We'll see. Talk to you tomorrow.